Online security is crucial, but relying solely on passwords can leave your accounts open to hacks. Imagine losing access to important information due to weak protection. Today, we'll explore how multi-factor authentication can safeguard your accounts, walking through examples of how these simple solutions can prevent major security headaches. We'll also take a look into the risks of using third-party apps and explain why it's essential to decide the right tools for protecting your sensitive data. Let's talk about Microsoft Authenticator. It's one of the best tools for securing your online accounts through multi-factor authentication. What we found most helpful and why we're sharing this app with you is its tight integration with Microsoft services and ease of use. Plus, it's great for securing Microsoft accounts, but it can also protect any other accounts that support multi-factor authentication. Getting started with Microsoft Authenticator is pretty simple. You just download the app from the App Store, whether you're on Android or iOS. Once installed, you open the app, sign in with your Microsoft account, and you're ready to add more accounts. Adding accounts can be done by scanning a QR code provided by the service you're trying to secure, like Gmail or Facebook. You'll see a 6-digit code pop up that changes every 30 seconds. That's your second layer of protection. If you've ever struggled with passwords being too easy to guess or hard to remember, this extra step can save you from a lot of headaches. Okay, now let's talk about its features and benefits. One of the standout features of Microsoft Authenticator is its tight integration with Microsoft services. If you're a heavy user of Microsoft's ecosystem, like Outlook, OneDrive, or Teams, this app becomes invaluable. You don't just get one-time codes, you also get the ability to approve sign-ins with a single tap, which feels so much smoother than the old-school methods of copying and pasting codes. Another great feature is its password-free sign-in for Microsoft accounts. Imagine not needing to type in your password every time, but instead, you receive a push notification to confirm your identity. For example, if you're signing into your Microsoft email on your computer, you'll receive a notification on your phone asking, "Is this you trying to sign in?" You tap yes, and that's it, you're in. Microsoft Authenticator also shines in its ability to back up your account details securely. When you switch to a new phone, you don't need to worry about losing access to your accounts. As long as you're signed into your Microsoft account, you can restore everything from a backup. This feature comes in handy more than you think, especially if you've ever had to juggle between devices. Here's a tip we found helpful. Use the app's biometric login feature. If you have a Face ID or a fingerprint sensor on your phone, Microsoft Authenticator supports this, which means no one can access your codes without your face or fingerprint. It adds an extra layer of security beyond just your phone's passcode. If you're the kind of person who uses multiple devices, remember to enable cloud backup to make your life easier when switching devices. It's a small trick, but it will save you time and stress if you ever lose your phone or upgrade to a new one. While Microsoft Authenticator is strong in most areas, there are a couple of downsides. The most obvious one is that if you lose your phone and don't set up recovery options, you could be locked out of your accounts. We recommend setting up recovery in advance to avoid any issues. Another downside we noticed is that it's not the best app if you don't use Microsoft services often. If you're primarily using Google or other platforms, some of the features may feel unnecessary. Now, Google Authenticator is one of the most widely used apps for securing online accounts. The best part? You don't need to create an account to use it, which makes it perfect for those who want quick security without the hassle of complicated setups. If you're already using Google's ecosystem, this app will slide right into your workflow. Getting started with Google Authenticator is incredibly easy. All you need to do is head to the Play Store or App Store, depending on whether you're using Android or iOS, and download the app. Once installed, it's ready to use right out of the box. You don't need to sign in or create a Google account to get going, which is a bonus for anyone concerned about privacy. To start adding accounts, you visit the security settings of the website or service you want to protect, like your email, social media, or bank account. They'll usually provide a QR code. You just scan that code with Google Authenticator, and instantly a 6-digit code pops up. That code changes every 30 seconds. One of the standout features of Google Authenticator is that it works entirely offline. Once you've set it up, you don't need an internet connection or mobile service for it to generate codes. That's incredibly useful when you're traveling, in areas with bad signals, or just in situations where internet access is limited. So, if you've ever been stuck in a spot with no Wi-Fi while needing to access your account, Google Authenticator ensures you can still get in safely. Multiple accounts. Support Google Authenticator also allows you to add as many accounts as you want, which makes it an all-in-one solution for your security needs. Whether it's your Gmail, Facebook, or even work accounts, everything can be managed within the same app. It's a simple but effective feature that helps you keep your digital life organized. No need to switch between apps to get your codes. If you do happen to use a Google account, Google Authenticator offers a handy sync feature. Your authentication codes can be synced across all your devices, which ensures that if you lose your phone, you won't lose access to your accounts. This is especially useful if you're deeply embedded in Google's ecosystem, as it keeps everything connected. But for those more privacy-focused, you can skip this feature and keep things more low-key. Here's a useful tip. Take advantage of Google Authenticator's ability to export your accounts. If you're switching to a new phone or just want to keep a backup, the app has an export feature that lets you transfer your accounts via a QR code. You can scan this code on your new device, which makes the transition between phones hassle-free. We've found this especially useful when upgrading phones, as it helps avoid the nightmare of resetting the multi-factor authentication on every account individually. Now, even with all these benefits, Google Authenticator does have its limitations. First off, it lacks cloud backups unless you tie it to your Google account. That means if you lose your phone and haven't backed up your codes elsewhere, you could lose access to those accounts. It's one of the main reasons we recommend enabling backup options or keeping manual recovery codes just in case. Another downside is that Google Authenticator doesn't support wearable devices like Apple Watch or Android Wear. If you're someone who loves using smartwatches for notifications and security, this app might feel a bit limited. It's also worth noting that some users have expressed concerns over Google's data collection practices, particularly regarding privacy. Google is known for collecting data across its services, and while this app doesn't require much personal information, it's something to keep in mind if you're cautious about privacy. Next up is the Authenticator app by 2Stable. What makes this app stand out, and why we think it's worth a try, is its user-friendly design and emphasis on privacy. Unlike some other apps, 2Stable is all about keeping your data secure without collecting unnecessary information. It's particularly great for Apple users since it integrates smoothly across iPhone, iPad, Mac, and even Apple Watch, which makes it one of the more reliable options out there. Getting started with the Authenticator app by 2Stable is simple, and it's very much designed for users who value convenience. You can download the app from the App Store for iOS devices, and the setup process is as straightforward as it gets. Once the app is installed, you don't even need to create an account to begin using it. That's right, there's no need to hand over any personal information, which is a huge bonus for privacy-conscious users. After downloading, you just follow the usual process for setting up two-factor authentication by scanning a QR code from the service you're trying to secure. As soon as you scan that code, the app will generate a 6-digit number that refreshes every 30 seconds as other Authenticator apps. This is the code you'll use whenever you log into your accounts. If you're switching from another device, 2Stable makes it easy to transfer all your accounts, either via encrypted backup or by using the built-in export feature. Let's see what features and benefits it provides. One of the app's standout features is its use of biometric authentication. If your device supports Face ID or Touch ID, you can use these features to unlock the app, which makes it more secure than a simple password or PIN. This adds an extra layer of protection to your codes. It's particularly useful if your phone ends up in the wrong hands. Without your face or fingerprint, no one can access your authentication codes. Another great feature of TwoStable's Authenticator app is its ability to sync across Apple devices. If you're an Apple user, you'll appreciate how the app securely works with iCloud to keep your accounts synced across iPhone, iPad, Mac, and even Apple Watch. This makes switching between devices a simple matter. Let's say you're working on your Mac and need to log into a secure site. You can pull up the code on your Apple Watch without having to reach for your phone. It's a small thing, but it makes a big difference in how you use two-factor authentication daily. Security is clearly a top priority for TwoStable, and it shows in how they handle your data. All of your account information is stored with end-to-end encryption, which means that only you have access to your codes. Not even TwoStable can see your data. This is a huge plus for users who are concerned about privacy and don't want their personal information floating around on someone else's servers. Everything is encrypted and stored securely in your iCloud account, so you can rest easy knowing your data is safe. While TwoStable is primarily designed with Apple users in mind, it doesn't stop there. You can use this app across multiple platforms, which is great if you're not strictly an Apple-only user. However, keep in mind that for non-Apple users, some features may not be as smooth, particularly when it comes to syncing and backups. Here's a helpful tip. If you're using multiple Apple devices, take full advantage of the iCloud backup and syncing feature. This ensures that if you lose your phone or upgrade to a new one, all your accounts can be restored easily with just a sign-in to iCloud. It's a simple feature, but it's incredibly useful, especially for those who are always switching between their Apple devices. Another useful trick is setting up Face ID or Touch ID to secure the app. While it's great that the app already has encryption, using biometrics adds an additional layer of security that's quick and effortless. If you're someone who's concerned about security but doesn't want the hassle of memorizing more passwords, biometrics is a great option to keep your authentication codes safe without much effort. Like all apps, there are some downsides to using TwoStable's Authenticator. One of the more obvious issues is that it's very much centered around Apple's ecosystem. If you're using Android or other non-Apple devices, you might find that the app's best features, like iCloud syncing, aren't available to you. In that case, it might not be the best choice for multi-platform users. Another downside is that the free version is somewhat limited. While you can store one or two accounts for free, the premium version unlocks the ability to store unlimited accounts and sync them across all devices. So if you're managing multiple accounts, you might need to opt for the paid plan, which can be a bit of a drawback compared to other free apps like Google or Microsoft Authenticator. NordPass Business is a bit different from the personal apps we've discussed so far because it's aimed at organizations rather than individuals. NordPass, from the makers of the popular NordVPN, is focused on securing businesses with its multi-factor authentication feature alongside password management. Setting up NordPass Business is quite simple. The first step is to head over to the NordPass website and choose the business plan that fits your needs. After signing up, you'll be prompted to download the app on your devices, which works across multiple platforms, including Windows, macOS, iOS, and Android. Once you've got the app installed, you can start adding team members. One of the things that makes NordPass Business easy to use for companies is the administrative control it offers. As an admin, you can invite your team members via email, and once they join, you can assign different roles and permissions. For example, you can decide which employees have access to which passwords or accounts, and you can enforce company-wide security policies, like requiring multi-factor authentication for everyone. NordPass Business comes equipped with a strong MFA system, which is crucial for businesses where security breaches can lead to significant losses. With MFA enabled, employees will need to enter a second layer of verification, like a one-time passcode from their phone, before they can access company accounts. This reduces the risk of unauthorized access, even if an employee's password is compromised. The MFA setup process is simple for employees, and since it integrates with NordPass, it doesn't add much extra time to the login process. A feature we found particularly useful for businesses is NordPass's Password Health tool. This tool checks the strength of your employees' passwords and alerts them if they are using weak, reused, or compromised passwords. If any employee's password has been exposed in a data breach, the app will notify them and prompt them to change it immediately. For businesses, this feature can help prevent security risks that arise from poor password habits. It also keeps your team accountable without requiring constant oversight from IT departments. NordPass Business makes it easy to manage teams and set role-based access. As an admin, you can easily control who has access to what, which ensures that employees only have access to the information they need to do their jobs. For instance, you can create groups for different departments like marketing, sales, or finance, and assign them specific access rights. This reduces the risk of sensitive data being exposed to employees who don't need it. You can also track account activity, so if there's ever a security incident, you can see exactly who accessed which accounts and when. While NordPass Business offers many strong features for securing company accounts, it's important to consider the risks that come with using a non-authentic app like this, particularly one from a third-party service. Unlike apps created by established and trusted companies like Microsoft, Google, or Apple, NordPass is relatively new and doesn't have the same level of oversight and security protocols built into its core ecosystem. When you rely on third-party apps for sensitive data, you're trusting them with your most valuable information, logins, passwords, and employee data, which can expose your business to unnecessary risks. One of the main concerns with using a non-authentic app is that if the app experiences a data breach or security failure, your company's information could be exposed to hackers. While NordPass uses strong encryption and security measures, third-party apps are always a step removed from the major tech ecosystems. This means they don't benefit from the same scrutiny, constant updates, or long-standing reputation that apps from Microsoft, Google, or Apple have. If NordPass's servers were compromised, all the stored credentials could potentially be at risk. Additionally, NordPass requires you to rely on its cloud storage system to manage and back up sensitive data. While this might be convenient, it also means you're putting your trust in a single service. If there's ever a disruption, server issue, or worse, a security breach, it could lead to major problems for your business. So those are our takes on the best authenticator apps, each with its unique benefits and features. We hope this video gives you a good idea of the possibilities and helps you make the right choice for your needs. Let us know if you have any further questions or would like to share your thoughts in the comments below.